Well, let's add another layer of complexity to our work on working with rational exponents. And that's what we do in math, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. We keep adding to our foundational basis. And so now we're going to evaluate b raised to the power of m over n expression. In other words, we're going to have something in the numerator other than just 1. We've been looking at 1/2 and 1/3 and 1/4 and 1/5 and things like that, where maybe like if we got x raised to the power of 1/4, that's the fourth root of x. But when we have a value other than 1 in the numerator, that's telling us what power we are raising the base to. And the denominator is telling us what the root is, or the radical is, of that denominator. So if we've got 27 raised to the power of 2 over 3, the equivalent of that is the cube root of 27 squared. So 27 raised to the power of 2 over 3 is the equivalent of the cube root of 27 squared. And we're going to go to the calculator and let that kind of do our work for us. And I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you might enter that to be able to evaluate this expression. But before we do, let's look at this second one down here. 256 raised to the power of 5 over 4, or 5/4. Well, that 4 tells me what root I'm taking. So I'm taking the fourth root of 256 as my base, and we're going to raise it to the fifth power. Now let's move over here to the calculator, and we'll look at a couple of ways that we can enter that to evaluate these expressions. Okay, well, we were looking at 27 raised to the power of 2 over 3, or 2/3, or the cube root of 27 squared. Well, let's enter it first as the cube root of 27 squared. So I'm going to go to math. I'm going to choose option 4, which is my cube root. And then I'm going to put 27, but that's not enough. I've got to square it. So I'm going to hit the little x squared button. And we're going to hit enter. And we see that the cube root of 27 squared is equal to 9. Now, what if I just entered that as just an exponent, just like I saw it, 27 raised to the power of 2 over 3. Well, I go 27, hit the little caret button, and then I'm going to go 2 divided by 3, 2 over 3, and we're going to hit enter. Hopefully we're going to get 9, and in fact we do. Now, how about 256 raised to the power of 5 over 4? Well, let's do it as a radical first. I'm going to hit math. I'm going to choose option 5 this time, and I'm saying I want to take the fourth root of 256 caret 5 raised to the fifth power. And let's hit enter and see what we got. 1024. And let's just enter it as an exponent, as 256 raised to the power of 5 over 4. So we got 256 raised to the power of 5 over 4. And again, I hope I'm going to get 1024. And in fact, I do. Either way that I enter it, if I want to enter it as its exponential value, or as its radical, or in its radical form, as long as I enter it incorrectly, I know that the numerator is, the denominator is telling me what root I'm taking of the base. The numerator tells me what power I'm raising the base to under the radical. Line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little.